As for Pakistani manufacturing, everyone has seen that the various parts it produces are not only efficient but also cheap. Even without a high-end workshop, it can produce accessories of the same size with zero error. The most important factor here is the level of the workers. For example, the piece of metal in the picture looks very neat from the edge. If the workers do not have a certain foundation, they will definitely not be able to do it. Therefore, it is often this kind of traditional workshop that tests the technical level more. For CNC equipment in developed countries, workers only need to adjust the values to operate it by themselves. If we simply compare the technology, it may not be as good as these traditional workers. This is not exaggeration. You should know that these workers in Pakistan railways all start as apprentices. It takes several years for them to reach key positions. Each worker has unique insights into the production process. For example, the metal being processed in the video is used by workers to make a large gear. As for precision control, it can be done with traditional tools only. Although it looks simple, there is a lot of knowledge involved. Traditional lathes are powered by electricity. The motor drives the spindle to rotate. In addition to cutting, pressing, turning and drilling, they can also perform more difficult processing. After one side is cut, it is ready to process the other side. Compared with the previous manual lathe installation, it seems easier to hoist at this time. I just don't understand why it has to be carried manually at the beginning. Is it to show strength? In the blink of an eye. This side also showed a mirror-like brightness. After measuring, prepare for fine processing. Next, start cutting the ruler surface. The cutter head covered with lubricating oil slowly cuts on the disc. The processing method is from top to bottom. Compared with cutting other parts, making gears seems to be a very time-consuming process. You can't rush it. Just ensure sufficient lubricating will prevent the cutter head from overheating. This is obviously the worker's favorite part. Just sit aside. The machine can run autonomously. From the iron slag scattered on the side, this machine should have processed a lot of gears. But it is not finished yet. After all, the inner wall of the gear is still very smooth. It cannot be fixed. So, I am going to start processing another key position, the arrow groove. The arrow groove is a key position used to fix the main shaft. It can make it more solid, avoid the deviation and slippage with the main shaft. As for the depth of the arrow groove, it is basically determined by the master's experience. It has to be said that although the environment is simple and the tools are old, there seems to be no flaws from the appearance of the gear. It has to be said that the technical level of the masters is really admirable. This is the end. What do you think?